Okay, this is 12.1 video on the coordinate plane. The coordinate plane is sometimes called the Cartesian plane. It is created by two axes. We have the x-axis, which is the horizontal line that runs side to side, so I'll label that x. This is the x-axis. And we have the y-axis, which is the vertical line, the up and down line. And these two axes, the x-axis and the y-axis, they intersect right here in the middle, which is called the origin. The origin is where the x and y axis intersect. Now, because these lines intersect, it creates four what we call quadrants. The top right hand, in the top right is quadrant 1, top left is quadrant 2, bottom left is quadrant 3, and bottom right is quadrant 4. I just use Roman numerals to label them. Okay, now a way to remember this is if you start in quadrant 1 and go counterclockwise to make a C, that's sort of the order of the quadrants. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. Something to pay attention to on the coordinate plane is called the scale. The scale is how much is each jump on the coordinate plane worth. And so if this was the origin and I said that this line was 2, this is 4, this is 6, and 8, well, obviously you can see that each jump is worth 2. I could say the scale is 3, where it goes 3, 6, 9, 12, and so on. Or you can just have a scale of 1, where every jump is worth 1. So pay attention to what the scale is worth. All right, and the next thing to talk about is an ordered pair. An ordered pair will consist of an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate written next to one another with a comma in between them and parentheses around the number. In the ordered pair, the x value tells you to go left or right from the origin. Okay, so if you're going left, that's going to be a negative x value, and if you go right, that would be a positive x value. So your x value tells you to go left or right, and your y value, your y coordinate, tells you to go up if it's positive or down if it's negative. Let's look at a few examples. Okay, here in example 1, what does a point in quadrant 1 look like? Well, a point in quadrant 1 will have both an x, a positive x coordinate, and a positive y coordinate. So that's why I put positive, positive. So EX, here's an example of a point in quadrant 1, 3, 4. So I always start from the origin, which is where the lines intersect. And because the x coordinate is 3, I'm going to go right 3, 1, 2, 3, and up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and put a dot. So as you can see, that point lies in quadrant 1. In quadrant 2, the x value will be negative and the y value will be positive. Or you could say this tells me to go left and then up. Left because it's negative, up because it's positive. So let's do the point negative 2, 1. I always start from the origin. I'm going to go left 2, 1, 2, there's negative 2, and up 1. Okay, as you can see, that point is in quadrant 2. Next, what does a point in quadrant 3 look like? Well, in quadrant 3, from the origin, I would have to go left and then down. So that would be negative, negative. So let's look at a point, negative 2, negative 3. From the origin, I go left 2, 1, 2, and then down 3, 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, that point is in quadrant 3. Finally, what does a point in quadrant 4 look like? Well, in quadrant 4, we have to go, from the origin, we have to go right and then down. So because I go right, that's a positive x-coordinate, and because I go down, that's a negative y-coordinate. So the point 4, negative 2 should be in quadrant 4. Let's see. Start from the origin. I'm going to go right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 2, 1, 2. And that point's in quadrant 4. Right now, there are some points that are not in a quadrant because they lie on the axis. And so here, look at two examples, one for each axis. What does a point on the x-axis look like? Well, the x-coordinate will either be positive or negative, right? Not 0. The x-coordinate will be positive or negative, so some non-zero integer or non-zero number, and the y-coordinate will be 0. So let's look at this example 4, 0. I start from the origin. I'm going to go right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up or down 0. So if I don't go up or down anything, then I'm still on the x-axis. I'm on the x line, the x-axis going side to side. Finally, what does a point on the y-axis look like? Well, the x-coordinate will be 0, and the y-coordinate will either be positive or negative, like in the point 0, negative 2. So if I start from the origin and go left to right 0, well, I'm still at the origin. And then since it's 0, -2, I have to go down 2, and there I am on the y-axis.